All right, today we're jumping into the wild ideas from the book Birthright. It basically lays out this epic saga where our own genes, ancient gods, and the tech of the future are all tangled up in a massive battle for what it even means to be human. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, the whole book hinges on this one big idea. The author is arguing that scripture isn't just some moral compass. Nope, he says it's an encrypted message, a data drop, that details a cosmic history and a future conflict that's frankly way stranger than anything we were taught in Sunday school. So where's all this headed? Well, the book kind of starts at the end, with a vision of humanity's future that's, well, it's pretty incredible, but according to the author, also incredibly dangerous. We're talking about the transhumanist dream here, right? Using stuff like genetics, robotics, and AI, not just to fix what's broken, but to fundamentally upgrade ourselves. The goal isn't just a better human. The end game, as the book presents it, is to create Homo Deus, a God-man, a totally new species. And this is where the whole thing just flips on its head. The book proposes that to really get a handle on this leap into a technological future, you first have to dig up a secret, hidden history, because what's about to happen has all happened before. So, the book lays out this totally different origin story, one that kicks off long before Adam and Eve, in a universe already full of life and full of war. You know the old saying, order out of chaos? Well, forget it. The source argues for the complete opposite. It claims the universe started in perfect, beautiful order, and that order was shattered by a rebellion, which created all the chaos and decay we see around us. So the key takeaway is, the universe isn't winding up, it's winding down. So how does this tie back to the Bible? Well, the book's take is that Genesis chapter 1 isn't describing creation out of nothing. It's actually describing the reconstruction of a planet that was already ancient, a planet left a flooded, wrecked wasteland after a massive angelic war ripped our solar system to shreds. And who fought this war? The book introduces this concept of an elder race. Now, these aren't aliens like in the movies. Think of them as humanity's cosmic older siblings, the morning stars, the sons of God. They were created way before Adam. We're kind of the new kid in a very old family. Okay, so this whole family drama sets up the central conflict of the entire story. It's a battle over what makes us special, our purpose, our authority, and you guessed it, our very DNA. Now, what's really fascinating is how the book defines our birthright. It's not just some fuzzy spiritual idea. The author frames it as two things. First, it's a legal title, dominion or ownership of planet Earth. And second, it's the biological keycard that proves that title, a genetic seal, our DNA itself, which is what it means to be made in the image of God. So, the author says this genetic birthright has been under attack from day one, and in two major ways. You have the ancient attack, where these fallen members of the elder race, the Watchers, interbred with humans to create hybrids, the Nephilim, to basically steal the throne. Then you have the modern deception, which tells us we're evolving, when the book claims our genome is actually devolving, falling apart from a constant buildup of mutations. And this slide really lays out the core disagreement. On one hand, you have the standard view of evolution. Random mutations slowly build more and more complex things over time, and we're at the top of that ladder. But the book's view, genetic entropy, says the exact opposite. It argues that mutations are just copy errors. They don't build things up, they break them down. Which means we're not an improved version of our ancestors, we're a genetically degenerating copy of a much more perfect original. And this is where it all comes together. The ancient war, our genetic birthright, and today's technology. This is presented as the final act, the last great attempt to steal humanity's dominion for good. The author lays out what he calls a three-pronged plan to get us to give up our birthright. First, there's a new religion brewing, one that tells us we can and should take charge of our own evolution and become gods. Second, a hidden hybridization program creating a replacement for the human race. And third, the post-human tech itself, tempting us to voluntarily change our own genetic code to just surrender our humanity. So, this leads to a pretty radical reinterpretation of prophecy. The book suggests that the infamous mark of the beast isn't just a microchip for buying and selling. It's the final choice to accept a genetic upgrade, to overwrite the image of God in our DNA and become a new post-human species, basically trading our birthright for the promise of becoming a god. But the story doesn't just end in doom and gloom. The author also dives into a prophesied resolution to this conflict that's been raging for thousands of years. And it's all about restoration, not replacement. At the heart of the whole biblical narrative, from the very first book to the very last, the source points to this recurring promise. It's the promise of a dragon slayer, a champion for mankind, who is destined to face that ancient enemy and win back everything that was lost at the beginning of the story. Now, this champion is presented as Christ, but in a very specific role, as the second Adam. He's a perfect kinsman, and because he shares our humanity, he has the legal and the genetic right to be our Redeemer. So, in this view, he doesn't just save souls, he reclaims the physical dominion of Earth and restores the corrupted human genome for all of us. And that's really what it all boils down to. The big question the book leaves you with. It frames our future not as a straight line forward, but as a fork in the road. Is our destiny to use our own technology to evolve into gods? Or is it to reclaim the incredible birthright we were given from the very start?